apologies, gentlemen. I don't know.
Does that ever happen to you two?
No.
No.
No, never. We've been on a StreamYard with Joe, and to share a screen, I just throw it on there, and then he does some some magic, and takes it down. And I don't know what the hell happened. We've never had this happen though.
It was a restream. We used Restream, and it literally crashed and it wouldn't, like, I couldn't even reconnect back to Restream for several minets, and then I kept hitting refresh, and it finally came back up. So maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's intentional, a glitch in the matrix, but we're back.
Yeah. So
it looks like the Rumble stream is terminated. It stopped.
If you refresh, it'll come back.
It's back.
Oh, is it?
Is it? Jeez. Well, my apologies, gentlemen. Everybody at home, sorry about that. We don't know what happened.
It's 4Pug, man.
I'm telling you guys, geez. Well, when it first glitched out on TikTok, when you guys first started, I thought, oh boy, here we go. We're going to have some kind of major issue. But then it came back on, and the numbers have been strong the whole show until we went out.
Wait a minute.
It was strong until it wasn't.
How there we go. All right.
Okay, so are we on? We should be on all 5 platforms, right, Alex?
Yes, we are. I am flipping through the platforms now. Rumble, we're good. X, we're good. TikTok, we're good. So keep rolling. Where were we?
Okay, yeah, I completely lost my train of thought, guys.
It was about. I won't show that again.
Yeah,
maybe that's what got us new.
I don't
the
think
ride never ends. The show will go on. I think we're going to see I think Anons are going to see what they perceive to be justice. I do.
Yeah, almost the entire population is going to believe the narrative that's put out there. Like what John and I are talking about is something that you can choose to believe if you want to, or you can choose to believe what we call the cartoon. It's we call it the cartoon narrative. It's a comic book. It's showing you a story of good guys versus bad guys. Everybody understands it. Everybody wants the good guys to win. The good guys are going to win, and everything's going to be okay. But that's not what's actually going on. We don't think. We could be wrong.
Right. And I think that's one of the things I respect the most about you guys is that you have your opinions, but then you're very willing to say, well, I could be wrong. And that's been my position for decades. I don't know.
Yep.
And, and that's not just in the political realm. That's in the religious realm.
It should be everything.
Right. Yeah, I agree. 100%. So in the cartoon narrative, as you call it, do you think we're going to see the optical reveal of justice?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And do you think that is going to be, how do you see that playing out? Or possibly playing out? Yeah, oh, great. Kind of like the Roadrunner and the Acme rocket behind Wile E. Coyote or something?
Yeah, I think it's going to be far, far worse than even the most doomer anons think. I think
far worse.
Yeah, the level of corruption and of chicanery that's going on at behind closed doors with people you've never heard of internationally is going to be so vast that it blows people's minds. And the reason I say that is extraordinarily non-intuitive. It has to do with AI and robotics and switching from an economic perception of you have to work for a job and you don't have to work for a job. In order to facilitate that, you have to prevent the population from flipping out so they don't kill each other, which means you have to give them super abundance before they flip out, which means you have to have a way to just serve money to everybody on a silver platter during the transition, which means you have to have legal cases that reward the population for being damaged. Can you say COVID? Can you say big pharma? Can you say fraud? Can you say evil Dr. Global in his secret lair that secretly has $200 trillion that he stole from your entire family tree over the last 200 years?
I like this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and see, now this is where I've always, well, not always, but in the recent past have thought that it's not going to be a singular event, that it's going to be a process.
Process.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you think it is not a singular event?
the logistics of switching the world. So for example, when you think about, okay, today I have to go to a job and work to make money to pay rent, pay the electric bill, et cetera, et cetera. In however many years, 10, 20, 30, 5, we don't know. It depends on how fast they want to rip off the Band-Aid. You just get stuff for free. How does that work? Like manufacturers of food, farming is automated with robots now. You don't need immigrant workers anymore because there's just robots that do it. And they get free electricity. You know, there's an innovation that hasn't happened yet. I think it's going to happen. If the cost of producing what everybody wants goes to zero because of all this robotics, because once you have intelligent robots that are more intelligent than humans and more dexterous than humans, they can make anything a human can make better than a human can. Okay, so the only reason to have a human-made thing would be sentimental emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we got to transition from one point to another, how do you do that? You have to create the appearance of superabundance. So it's not going to make any sense economically. Like an economist trying to pick apart what's actually going on during this transition, he's going to say, this doesn't make any sense. And you know what? It won't matter because 99% of the people are going to go, cool, I got so much money, I can just go buy whatever I want.
Brondo.
So it doesn't It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It matters if you get through it.
Yeah.
Because once you get to the other side and craft and, you know, Yum Foods and Exxon's just producing oil for free, you know, whatever it is, that transition is the problem. And so you need superabundance before the flip out. Otherwise, everybody starts picking up ARs and trying to kill whoever they think in the comic book is the bad guy.
Well, it sounds like 2020. Sounds like 2020. This doesn't make any sense. Going one direction in the supermarket and running to your table to take your mask off to eat that.
Yeah.
Or the entire Biden presidency. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Right. So don't think that this has to make sense to happen.
So, as you guys know, I'm a nerd at heart. I had a technology company for years. I used to go to CES and Comdex every year. And so when CES takes place in Comdex, I tend to find a lot of news about it. And one of the most prominent displays of technology at CES this year was robotics. Yeah. Now, the robots that they're showing us, you talked about them being ambidextrous or dexterous in general. Yeah. None of them were at that level. But my guess would be that if they're showing us that in the public sphere, there has to be a way more advanced version of that already in existence. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think what they're showing us is they're showing us what appears to be a plausible evolution of the technology. And all they need is a few advancements. And really what they need is they need some company like Tesla. And by the way, in China, it's going to be, you know, Huawei or some other Chinese company, because the Chinese people need to be shown patriotic, nationalistic stuff because the Chinese are the best country in the world if you're in China. Right. But when you're in the United States, you see Elon Musk and Tesla. And when you're in, you know, Brunei, you just see mud. But sorry, Brunei. I didn't mean to pick on
I was going to say, I hope you don't have anybody from Brunei watching.
Yeah,
Somalia. That would be true for Somalia.
Every culture, every country is going to have its own nationalism, its own propaganda. The stories are going to be different. So keep that in mind. This is very complex. But yeah, right now we're being shown the retarded robotics. We're probably never going to be shown the actual technology that humanity has developed, because the people who run the world are intentionally keeping things from the population so that some jerk doesn't try to get more chicks and blow up countries. You know, I mean, it's so.
Well, they would have to reveal some of that technology in order for it to be in place.
For example, in order to eliminate crime, you need to deploy mass surveillance that's so ubiquitous that no one can get away from certain crimes like human trafficking and RICO, right? Without there being evidence. And so one of the things I've predicted is that I think they're going to amend the Fourth Amendment to exempt those from evidentiary requirements, so that if there's evidence that you participated in RICO, it is always admissible in court, period, full stop. Okay.
This is where where people tend to diverge and go, no way. I don't want to have surveillance. Well, let me tell you something. If you got a phone,
yeah, you got it.
You're already cooked. I mean, you're already covered. Not
well, cooked. You know, and it's interesting. Oh, sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to complete that thought. So 100 years ago, they didn't have ubiquitous surveillance like this. They couldn't, like logistically, they couldn't eliminate RICO. Now they do. RICO's about to be gone. That eliminates war. War is always RICO.
Give me that logical progression.
It's always rich guys conspiring to get more power.
Mm.
If you eliminate RICO, then you can't break laws. It has to be fully transparent, blah, blah, blah. You know, also, what does the cost of government do with all this AI and robotics? Trump's going to automate it. The cost of government is going to go down to almost nothing.
How quickly could you eliminate the human presence at the Social Security Administration, at the Medicare, Medicaid, all that kind of stuff?
All of it.
It's going to be like lightning fast.
Yeah.
Everything about the structure of this looks like they have prepared for the maximally fast transition, right? Which can't be done faster than years.
Yeah.
Right. It's impossible to do this faster than a certain point. And so they've front loaded the entire thing for 100 years or more so that they have an excuse to just dump wealth on everybody while the transition happens.
But you don't think that'll happen for 100 years?
No, I think they started this more than 100 years ago.
They started at 100. Okay, gotcha.
My personal opinion on when it started, when this phase of deploying the surveillance is actually 700 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know about 700 years ago, but I remember 4 or 5 years ago, people were just had their panties in a bunch because they discovered that the government had passed legislation allowing backdoors into every electronic device. Well, the only reason they became aware of it 4 or 5 years ago was because of FOIA, but it actually had passed back in like 2000 or 2005. I forget what the actual year was, around 2000. And yet people didn't even get up in arms about it for 10, 15 years because they didn't know about it.
Yeah, because people weren't told because they control the media.
Exactly.
People see what Oprah says. and guess who controls Oprah?
Television. You watch a program on the television.
Oh yeah, the wordplay and all of this goes so deep. It's actually called the language of the birds, or the green language, or the language. That's one of the reasons we know it goes back to Mesopotamia, because it goes to which is the Tigris and Euphrates area.
Okay, right? So we're not going to get into the bird language today because that is a whole another subject.
That is super complex, and that's where the proof of all this is.
Well, and I'm hoping that you guys, you know, given all the technical issues we've had, I hope that you guys won't hold that against us and that you'll come back on again.
Oh, we'd love to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Because believe me, none of this was intentional. I don't know what the hell happened, but
it's worth it. You guys will probably have completely smooth streams until we come back on.
Exactly.
That's probably just coincidental.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I had some people ask, how can everybody that's not familiar with you follow you? So if you guys could let the audience know where you're at and how to maybe follow some of your content.
I have a Substack. It's sapioplex.substack.com. And that's for the last 3 years, John and I have just written articles. And if you go back and read it in order, chronological order, you can see our opinions changing because, for example, 2.5 years ago, we thought the world was run by Satanists, right? Because they're evil. I mean, look at all this horrible stuff that's happening. And then we realized, well, wait a second, that actually doesn't make any sense. So
that's where our progression is. We could be totally wrong.
Yeah,
we've said that a lot.
Right.
But yeah, go to sapioplex.substack.com. What's your X handle? You use Sapioplex?
Yeah, Sapioplex on X.
It's on the screen there at JF_Anon. I do a lot of shit posts. I got my account locked last night.
Last night, really?
Yeah, well, I had to remove a post. There are times I'll just shit post, and I just reply to whatever that CNN. He looks like Harry Sisson, so he's. And he posted something absolutely outrageous, and I posted a picture of a claymore,
Oh, jeez.
Front toward faggot, and Apparently that triggered somebody.
And that's a negative. I don't know. Yeah.
Careful with the words because it will trigger the platforms now.
Well, I think it had to be that the Claymore includes violence or what's the word? I can't even think today.
That's a hate crime.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
you gotta use numbers on the beach. You can't use the actual.
Well, you know what you can do though is if you're on X, you can type tranny, but you put the umlaut A, so it's TRA with the little dots over the top. I've never had an issue with that, and the same with fag. I mean,
Gotta speak in code.
All right,
Yeah.
third language.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I want to come back to that on our next show, and I want to talk about bird language because I mean that is a very deep subject.
It's also like when you look at how accurate Q is at all these plausibly deniable coincidences. The bird language space of all the media is, I don't know, 1 million times larger. It is unbelievable what's in all the media.
Well, I've read quite a bit of your guys' stuff, so I know where you're going with this. That's why I'm saying we don't want to do it today because that's going to be a whole show in and of itself.
Yeah.
But for now, you guys, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I just was tickled pink when you actually responded to my text and said you'd be willing to come on, because I just think these are questions and concepts that people need to get their heads around. At least a certain percentage of the population that has the ability or the desire to do it, not the ones that are sitting there watching Netflix, which most of our community isn't that way.
Right.
But I just think it's super important, and I'm so grateful that you decided to come on with us. Now, everybody, Sapioplex on X, JF on X, go follow them. Go to their Substack, sapioplex.substack.com. Is that right? Or is it the other way around?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Substack.com.
Yeah, and it just as a little teaser, go read about the Zoids on his Substack. Believe me, you want to get your mind bent? That's one way to do it. All right, so Alex, Dave, you have anything else for John or Paul?
Nope, we appreciate you guys joining us.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
good to meet you.
100%.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to meet other critical thinkers. Even if we don't agree on everything, we can critically think together. So thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Yes, and everybody in the chat on all the platforms just thanking you guys and saying what a great show it was, and you got to get these guys back on again. So, but we'll hook up offline and figure out what the next day is.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, you guys. Okay, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
All
See you
right.
guys.
Let's see here, Alex. You got the buttons, or
Yes, sir.
Oh, not the button.
exactly.
As they go out.
All right, everybody. So we're not going to dance today. We'll dance tomorrow, no matter what happens. But I just want to thank everybody. My apologies for I don't know what the hell happened a couple of times in the stream today on TikTok, and then the whole restream thing just expired. I don't know what took place, but I'm just grateful that we were able to get through, and I'm so grateful that Paul and John decided to come on with us. It was what an absolute pleasure it was.
And there's some new viewers that are asking when our show is. We are Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time every week. So welcome new viewers, and of course the old viewers. Stick around because there's more to come.
Oh, absolutely. All right, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Dave, Alex, as always, love you guys. Talk to you soon.